Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix. This is Car Coach Reports, and today we're going to be talking about a very sexy car. This is a luxury sports coupe that is 4 doors. Now, typically when you're thinking in that category, you might be thinking about Lexus or BMW or Audi, and many times, sadly, it's overlooked this beautiful car. This is the 2020 Jaguar XE. It is the R design, so there's a lot of blacked out trim. There's a lot of cool design to it. But this is the S and the all-wheel drive. So this means you're getting a European sedan that has a lot of technology, a lot of design. Remember, there's a lot of race heritage in the Jaguar name. I race a Jaguar, and so I'm a little bit biased, but I have to say there are some real positives and some things that are not so positive about this Jaguar XE. We're gonna take you through all the Car Coach Reports ratings, give you a total at the end. Let's take a look. Under the hood, you're looking at a 2-liter inline 4-cylinder engine with 296 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Remember, you buy horsepower, but you drive torque. That's what's going to get you off the line. This is backed up with an 8-speed automatic transmission that has paddle shifts, which you don't get in the lower trim levels. So if you really want to drive this as a sports sedan, this is what you want to have. This is the R design. Now, it has a pretty good 0 to 60. The fuel economy is 22 miles to the gallon in the city and 30 on the highway. Let's take it out on the road. Exhaust sounds good in dynamic for sure. Let's check out 0 to 60. In dynamic mode, pretty good, but compared to the competition, it's a little bit slow. I wish it had a little bit more power, maybe a twin turbo that was a small second stage so you wouldn't have that turbo lag. For performance, I gave it an 8. The aluminum bodied architecture in this Jaguar really helps it be more rigid, have better control of the road, and the design, of course, is that of something that is race car DNA. But is that 100% being applied to the XE? Remember, we're looking at the price point. This is sort of an entry-level luxury sedan, and it does handle really well to the road, especially with the 20-inch Pirelli P0 tires. Good brakes, good handling, sticks pretty well. One of the biggest things when it comes to handling is being able to see how tight the turning radius is. Easier to get into parking spots, easier if you have to make a U-turn, and this is a very tight turning radius and pretty impressive. When you're looking at going around corners and how this vehicle handles, you have a high expectation because it's a Jaguar. But you're also competing with a lot of the German cars, and when you are, you have to think that if you're not at that level, then it's really difficult to have a good comparison. Remember that your direct competitors are not just other Japanese cars, but it's the Germans, and they really hold that luxury sedan market pretty tightly. So for handling, I gave it an 8. There's a lot of safety features on this vehicle, but it seems that you have to buy packages to get the top safety, and I find that frustrating when a lot of the Japanese include that all when you purchase any sort of trim level, because it's always about safety for them, and that also includes Volvo, which has a direct competitor to this as well. So when you're thinking about adding this on and you're looking at this vehicle as a whole, the drive pack includes the blind spot assistance and the high-speed emergency braking adaptive cruise control. So you have to pay extra for that. That's $1,700. On top of that, that technology package includes all the other goodies that you might want. But when you're looking at safety, like the adaptive dynamics, you have to purchase that package as well. You're looking at another $1,300. So this can add up quite quickly. When you're looking at safety, which is a very top priority, I gave it a 7. Something you need to consider when you start comparing. Add in those safety features. You cannot add them in later. Visibility is another important factor. I always say number 1 is seating, number 2 is visibility. Now, we're all built differently, so it's important that you sit in these vehicles, take them for a test drive, and look at these factors. Looking out the back window, I find it kind of limiting, especially with those big headrests in the way. Yeah, you can push them all the way down. They don't fold flat, but the design of the vehicle makes it kind of limiting. But that's true with all the vehicles in this category, and they all kind of rank about the same spot when it comes to visibility, which is a 7. One of the things I really like about this vehicle are the seats. I find that the leather interior is very nice for what you're getting for your money. Pretty impressive. Lumbar all the way around. Easy to control these seats, whether you want to control them on the seat itself or on the center screen, because it's a huge 10-inch screen, so you might as well use it for everything that you can. I do like the fact that it is a 4-way lumbar, which is not true in every vehicle. When you're looking at the Infiniti, it's just 2-way lumbar. You're looking at some of the German cars, there may not be lumbar on the passenger side, but you get a thumbs up for the front seats. Lumbar both sides, really comfortable seats, and very well designed. Let's take a look at the second row. The second row is a bit tight in this vehicle. Now I'm 5'8". I had to move this seat forward because my knees would have actually hit the back of the seat. So with that in mind, whoever's sitting in the front seat may have to move their seat forward. Not so good for the driver, might be okay for a passenger. Now you're supposedly able to seat 3 people back here. It would be a bit tight. Now when you put that armrest down, it's a little low, 2 cup holders, pretty good. And there's only nets behind the front seats, which you don't see in some of the other premium cars. There are 2 vents in back and 2 12-volt outlets. That's it, and a little storage area. So there really isn't a lot, and there's no door storage really, other than a teeny little bit for maybe a phone or an iPad. Of course, you've got your Meridian surround audio here. So the back seats are a bit tight, headroom's a bit tight, and so is the shoulder room. So for seating comfort, I gave it a 7. This is the 10-inch Touch Pro screen. You can customize this any way you want. So you just make it personalized and you can set it up to whatever smart settings you want and create your own profile. Besides the fact this is your current home screen, you also have choices to put in Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, your contacts, you can get on the web. This is also a Wi-Fi hub, which is great. As you move further over, you can add in your voice commands and of course make it dynamic if you want to put it on the track. It allows you all those things once you go in to dynamic mode. In dynamic mode, you can pick all these different settings from steering, suspension, engine, and gear shift. Of course, you can then set up lap timers as well, so you can see what you're doing. You can set up your G-forces if you're into all of that, and of course your throttle versus braking response. That's a huge difference when you're talking about this versus the regular XE. You get all this to play with. Now, if you're not looking at this particular setup, you can also go all the way over here and customize it any way you want. You just hit the long press anywhere to customize your page. There's all kinds of customization on this. Of course, you can set up your home screen how you want, set up your navigation screen, set up your phone as you need to, set up your audio system, your Bluetooth, your cameras, which are really nice because it shows you what's going on behind you. This is the camera that's on the back side of the satellite radio antenna, which is a really smart place to locate it. Not everybody's doing that. Of course, you got your park assist. You can turn that on and off. And if you want to assist with parallel park, it will actually help you parallel park, perpendicular park, and exit. That is fantastic because a lot of people really don't know how to do parallel park and they're not teaching it any longer apparently when it comes to driver's ed. So if you don't remember how to do that, you're not good at it, the car will do it for you. Going further down, you're looking at your regular radio settings, but you can also set up the climate control however you wish. Again, that's as simple as that. You can connect your phone. This is interesting. When you're looking at the gauges themselves, this is how you set your temperature however you want it. And then if you want to push, you then get to the seat settings where you can have heated or cooled seats. If you want to change the fan, you pull and you can adjust the speed setting of the fan. Pretty smart, no matter how hot or how cold you want it based on what your passenger wants, you can split that up. Wireless charging here, you've got your regular shift lever here, just a little bit more BMW-esque. You can shut off your auto off for a car that's idling. Your volume control is here. Of course, you can set up other settings here, including the different mode settings, a 12-volt outlet, 2 cup holders, and then inside the glove box, you've got more USB connections and charging points and another 12-volt connection. For technology, I gave it a 7. It was a little slow on the processor, but there was a lot of technology here, and they've really done a great job to try and step it up to the competitors. But compared to what's in that segment, we're looking at a technology score of 7. There are a lot of features in this car. I really like the steering wheel, the controls, easy to use, love the paddle shifters. Everything's really clean design. There are so many features, including a really impressive head-up display, all of the controls wireless. Controls, heated and air-cooled seats. Everything works. The heated steering wheel, which is a major plus up in the upper half of the country, and it heats really quickly. I'm really impressed with that as well. There are different drive modes. So if you're looking at the different drive modes that you want, you've got a comfort mode, you've got an eco mode, And for the lovely northern part of the country, you have a rain, ice, and snow mode. Going further down, you get into my favorite mode, which is the dynamic mode. All the gauges change, it turns red, and you get the ability to have some place to adjust and modify this to meet your personal needs. There is storage in the front door pockets, as well as storage in the center console and a good sized glove box. A lot of good features in this car, and you can add to the ones that you want, like the blacked out trim, or if you want to stylize it the way you want. I gave it an 8. I've always been a fan of Jaguars. I think they build really great quality cars, and they're built in the UK. They really just, the detail is really impressive, whether it's the soft surfaces, whether it be on the dash. They've really done an impressive job putting that together. The aluminum components that are in this car are really nice. This is one of the reasons I think this compares really head to head with a lot of the German products, because what you're getting is pretty cool. You don't get this in every car. You don't get this quality and attention to details, all these soft areas. There are a few areas that are lacking, but overall in quality, I am super impressed. So for quality, I gave it a 9. When it comes to design, the Jaguar really has some nice hood lines, different than some of the competitors. I really like the LED running lights, the fact that these vents are actually functional, and the front end of the vehicle is great. I also love the original Jaguar logo design, and of course telling you you've got an R design. On the R design, the 20-inch alloy wheels running on Pirelli P0 tires will give it much better handling and much better traction, but overall it really fits in nicely with the design, as is putting the Jaguar name here just to remind you what you're driving. Part of the design is making everything integrated by putting the camera in the back to help with that around view camera, giving you better sight lines, all the way down to integrating that into the satellite radio antenna. The lip on the back of the deck lid that comes with the R design is great. The overall design matched with these LED headlights. They've done a really great job. The XE logo to remind you what you're driving, and of course the P300 all-wheel drive S in the R design package. Overall, this vehicle looks really good, and for design, I gave it a 9. There's a lot of trunk storage in here, about 15 cubic feet. Really nice space. Underneath here, you've got an actual spare tire, with a lot of brands don't offer. 60/40 split seats, so you can put tons of storage back here. Overall, the lip is a little short, but it's based on that design. And I really have to say they've done a lot of good detail back here. There's a lot of trunks. When you look back here, there's nothing. I mean, they barely put carpeting down. They just kind of give you a rubber mat. So they did a really nice job on that. When you're looking at the price point of a vehicle like this, and you're talking about the overall storage, you really start thinking about pricing. Starting in that $46,000 range and then moving its way up to the $63,000 range for the R design fully loaded, I gave it a value score of 7. There's a lot of vehicles in this category, and you start looking at luxury vehicles, you start saying, is this the best one? Is this the best vehicle out there for your money? Are you getting your best value based on performance, handling, visibility, all the categories we went through? And it made it really tough because this car offers a lot for the money, but there are other vehicles that offer even more. So you have to answer that question yourself. Is this the best luxury vehicle available in this price point? That's a tough call. We gave it a total Car Coach Report score of 77. Now, we have driven all the competition: BMW, Audi, Mercedes, Lexus, Infiniti. We've driven them all. So when you really compare them all head to head, you should take this for a test drive, but you're going to make the final call. Make sure to check with your insurance agent before you make that final decision, because that's really going to be where your value comes in on your monthly payment plus your insurance payment. It's going to make a huge difference. We appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting us on our Patreon page and your likes. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated, in your comments, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.